How you going? I'm George Diab. They call me Diab. This is my falcon. That is about 17 years. It's been around for a long time. It is an old resto. That's my pride and joy, and it's been with me pretty much all my life, you know. So
what got you into cars, man?
I got into cars from my family, my dad and my mum, my uncle. We had cars all our lives. My dad had a lot of Holdens and Fords when he was young, and yeah, pretty much had more Holdens than Fords. So I don't know how I ended up being a Ford man. But back in the days, in the early 80s, he had a genuine XY GT, a shaker, a true blue shaker car. And that car got me into Falcons. And I've grown up to cars. My whole family's had cars. My brothers had cars. My brother's got a genuine VC Rock. My dad's been a mechanic. He's worked for an RMA all his life. I'm a panel beater by trade. I started my apprenticeship as a panel beater. And I've been to cars all my life. I've worked on cars all my life. So yeah, pretty much my cars have revolved around my family. And so yeah, I'm a Ford man, but I respect all types of cars. Okay, well when we bought this Falcon, me and my old man, it was done up as a GS. Had a GS drop, had a gold GS drop on it, had the XD globes on it. XD, don't wear Bathurst globes, or just globes. Had saddle trim, 500 seats in it. It was all done on a GS. Had a shaker on it, had a bit of a mild Hercules engine in it, solid Hercules 2V engine back then. Built from the previous owner. And the car was immaculate, but it had a couple of dimples over the years as a panel beater I seen or fixed. And we decided to turn it into a GT replica. So we've done blackouts, done interior, we had an 9-inch in it already, but we put bigger extras in it, you know. Basically turned into a GT. So we turned it into a GT. It's got a lot of genuine parts on it. And then I decided to go big. I wanted to go build a big engine. I grenaded one of the engines before, and I said, you know what, I want to go bigger. 600 horsepower, so I went and saw good old solid Hercules Ned. He built me an Arrow block, 434, with a low manifold. I made 670 horse, 610 foot-pound. The thing's out of control, man. Well, you put your foot down any gear, it just buries the tyres. I've got a bit of a name with third gear. People call me third gear king. I love my burnouts, man. I love doing burnouts. I enjoy it. I don't do it to show off. I just do it because I love it. But as we see, you can't do them on the street. It's not good to do them on the street. It's dangerous, you know. But yeah, it's got the power to do the power skids and that. It's enough for the street. I reckon it's too much for the street. But yeah. Also done the interior. Had the saddle interior before, so we ended up putting white trim in it. I love white trim. As a young boy, I always wanted to find a car white trim. So I go to my shop, I keep the colour as it is, and just scored 9 by its own. This is the colour of it, the late 2 GTs was colour. I decided to go white trim. I love it, I won't change it.
So you're making big numbers with the car, and obviously it's a street car, fully street registered. How's it go on the road, man? Is it comfortable?
Mate, to be honest with you, it drives like a normal car, man. It's not over the top. It's not oversized cam. It's not hard to drive. It drives like a normal car. When you put your foot down, the power's there. It drives pretty good, man, for the street. For a Falcon, it drives pretty stiff, you know. Obviously, it's got Millstone suspension, so it drives pretty good, man, for an old Falcon. Yeah, it's not too radical. So, yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, I'm John, I'm George's dad. Roy is a very close friend of ours. I consider him one of the family. Look, I've been into cars since I was 14 years old. I grew up as a youngster and finally went and done my trade as an automotive engineer and got qualified. So I worked in many workshops, even had my own workshop at one stage and ran that for a while, 7 days a week. It was pretty hard, but growing up as a mechanic was always performance cars. I might have had about 24 cars that I've owned in the past, you know, all high performance stuff. I can name you SLR 5000s, GTR XY1s. I've had 3 Bathurst HK Monaros. I've only owned one GT Falcon Phase 3, which the tags were missing, but it was still classified as a Phase 3. I thought the Phase 3s, well, I'll tell you what, for a factory car, it was very, very quick. That's something that Ford had built, and they call it the fastest car in the world, or sedan anyway. But I had my fair share of Monaros and XU1s and got them going pretty quick. So me and the brother, you know, we did all the mechanical, paint work, panel beating, all ourselves, part of the trim. But we love our cars, we enjoyed driving them hard, but always did the right thing on the streets. Never break the rules, but it sort of drag race in the back streets. Eastern Creek, well, we never went to Eastern Creek. I went to Castle Road Dragway many years ago. And we tried to pull the times. It takes big money to pull the quick times. You need to set up the suspension, tyres, braking system, you got to stop also. But you know, it was fun. We had a bit of fun out there and blew up a few bits and pieces. Well, just mechanical, it just lets go and brakes. So we enjoyed our time growing up and driving quick cars in the streets, and we were well respected. John and Charlie Diab, everybody knew us. We had FJs and FCs and all sorts of nice cars that people wanted to own. We even had a couple of hot rods, T-bucket and Model T Ford, 1923 with a Chevrolet in it, 327. That was pretty quick. 1926 Ford with a small block 400, and that was very, very quick. But the sedans we've had, I reckon we had about 24 different classic cars, and they're worth a lot of money now, but we just sort of fixed them. You know, people wanted to buy them, we just couldn't refuse the money. We just sold them and built another one. It just went on. George, growing up, he saw what I had in the photography, the book that I had for the cars that we had in the past. He said, "Dad, what's that?" I said, "That's a Falcon GT." "What's that?" "Monaro, XU1. He had no interest only in the Falcon that I had, which is the only Falcon I ever owned. That was at Phase 3, and he said to me, "Dad, you know, he got very sick at one stage, and I promised him I was building one." Anyway, he was in hospital, he got very sick, so I looked around. I worked in NRMA, been with him 34 years as a roadside technician. And I was working on the night shift around Tempe, Alexandria, Newtown. I saw this Falcon in the showroom floor there, and I saw this green Falcon, this thing behind us. It would look pretty much the same, it didn't have the black stripes, it was a GS. Anyway, I said, "Oh, that looks like the car for George." Anyway, I finished my night shift that night, went there the next day, spoke to the owner. I said, "Mate, I want to buy this." Anyway, the bloke was very rude, he thought I was another loser. I said, "Mate, what do you want for the car?" 16 and a half. I said, "Mate, I'll buy it. Just put it up on the hoist for me, I'll check it." Anyway, cut a long story short, we bought the car. We brought it home, and I said, "George, you got your car?" And we started stripping it. We sort of made it roadworthy, and it had a tree track in it. A mini spool. And the axles just kept blocking up. Couldn't go around corners. Ripped that out, put a tree track in it, and we basically just gave it a tune and just a mild bit of a clean up. We drove it for a while. Then we decided to build him a better engine, and we put a bigger engine in it, 400 horsepower. That wasn't enough, so he wasn't happy with that. And George kept chasing the bigger horsepower. You know, as he got older, he got better at driving. And I must say, he's a very good driver for a young man. He really knows how to push that Falcon. This thing's got massive horsepower, 670 horsepower. It's an arrow block, it's a 4-bolt main. Got the alloy heads on there. And it's got the decent manifold which hides the bonnet and the shaker, so it looks like a normal Falcon. You don't want it hanging out of the bonnet, you're asking for trouble. And we basically put the original shifter back in there. It had the top loader. We put the original top loader shifter in there. We had 31 spline axles, and we beefed up all the suspension. Nets has seen did all the work there, and you know, he really looked after us and done a wonderful job with the car. And the painting we did ourselves, and all the body work, and just finished all the strips off and interior. We put all the interior back together. And painted the sunroof, so it's a beautiful motor car. I mean, it's $200,000 worth, I've been told, even it's only a look-alike, but George is very happy to drive it, because he loves that seat, he just loves the Falcons, and I do too, I drive it every now and then, but I can't drive it the way he drives it. You put your foot down, it certainly lets you know it's got a bit of horsepower under the bonnet. It really goes, it's remarkable. I've never driven, I think it's the fastest motor car I've ever driven, you know. I haven't driven many, I mean back in the old days, but they didn't have this sort of horsepower. We were, to get through 54, you're killing it. Now, everyone wants 600 horsepower, but where are you going to put it anyway? It's just wheel spin and it just goes crazy. But anyway, George is happy with it, he loves it. And been in the game all my life, I'm 64 this year and I still love it. I still like to get behind the steering wheel and just open them up a bit. But, and I enjoy it, yeah, I love driving it, but he mainly drives it, he enjoys it, and I just want him to do the right thing and enjoy it and stay safe, don't hurt anybody, don't break the rules. You've got to abide by the rules, I always tell him, so whoever's out there, listen, do the right thing. You can have your car, otherwise it'll be towed away, taken away. And yeah, we'll always love muscle cars, mate. I feel like building another car for me now, you know, like an XR Falcon. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the XR GTs. And put a real wild engine in that, just a bit of a cruiser, me and the missus, you know. George won't be touching that one, so he can have this one.
My name's Roy, I'm a good friend of the family. I've been in the family for a long time. George, he's always been a car man, no doubt, no problem. Any day, every day, he's into his cars, pedal better, smash the press, no problem. His uncle, his dad over there, champion mechanic, you know, mate, 35 years I think in the game. Is that about uncle?
I've been in the game nearly 50 years.
50 years in the game. So cars are no problem for him, you know what I mean? Especially George. He knows how to push the metal to the pedal, mate. Know about that. He knows how to mark the streets. George is a very good boy, no problem as well. The first time George picked me up in the 1HOTXY was a dream of mine, my brother. It was a good dream of mine to jump in a car like that. Especially when you got a good driver next to you, he knows how to push it. It made my day. Very, very happy, trust me. He knows how to push it, George Diab. I call him Daybay. Good brother of mine. And his dad and this, got my old man, champion.
Thanks to Christian from Close Street. I appreciate you come past and interviewing my car, my old man and my mate, and my good friends, my brother. Yeah man, this is my car, this is my hobby, you know, always been my hobby. I'm more into cricket, I'm more into baseball, I'm more into soccer. Cars are my hobbies. I don't want a bit of footy, but I don't want a bit of boxing. But nah man, yeah, cars are my fury. I work on cars every day. And yeah man, that's my story. Thank you for coming, Christian. I appreciate it, man.
You can have a nice car, just be safe. Everybody's entitled to have a beautiful car, especially high performance vehicle, whether it's a Chrysler, Tarana or a Falcon G2 or a Monaro, especially the old school stuff. Just be safe and do the right thing and don't do stupid things out there. If you want to race on the track, and believe me, don't do street racing, it's not worth it. You can cruise it and be safe because you've got to think of everybody else, not just yourself. So if you want to cruise your nice car, be safe and do the right thing and don't break the rules. That's what I say to my boys anyway, and that's what everybody should be doing, mate, so we can keep these cars. Otherwise, they tow them away, you'll never see them again. All that money wasted. So thanks very much for your time, and yeah, we love our cars and we will always love our cars. Thank you very much.